Father God, as this morning breathes its first quiet light across the world, I come before you with a heart that is awake, even if my body is still learning to rise. I come not rushing, not demanding, but waiting, listening, longing for your word like dry ground longs for rain. I choose to begin this day by turning my face toward you, because I know that before I speak, you already hear, and before I ask, you already understand the deep places of my soul. Thank you for the gift of waking, for the unseen miracle of breath filling my lungs again, for the gentle reminder that you have sustained me through the night and brought me safely into a new beginning. This morning is not accidental, and neither am I. You have written this day with intention, and I step into it holding on to your presence. Lord, I quiet my thoughts before you. I lay down the noise of yesterday, the worries that tried to follow me into sleep, the expectations that feel heavy before the day has even begun. I surrender them now, one by one, because I want my first awareness to be you. Let my spirit become still enough to recognize your voice. Let my heart be soft enough to receive what you want to speak. As it is written in Psalm 46, you invite me to be still and know that you are God. And in this stillness, I remember that you are already sovereign over everything that concerns me today. Nothing ahead of me surprises you. Nothing waiting for me is bigger than your grace. Father, I thank you not only for what you have done, but for who you are. You are faithful even when I am inconsistent. You are patient even when I am slow to understand. You are kind even when I struggle to believe it for myself. This morning I choose gratitude not because everything is perfect, but because you are present. I thank you for lessons learned through difficulty, for strength built in silence, for doors you closed to protect me, and for paths you redirected even when I did not understand. Let gratitude shape my attitude today, so that my eyes are trained to see your goodness even in ordinary moments. God, as the light grows outside, let your light rise within me. Shine into the corners of my heart that I keep hidden, not to shame me, but to heal me. Search me and know me, and gently reveal anything that does not align with your will. I do not want to carry bitterness, pride, fear, or resentment into this day. I release unforgiveness that weighs me down. I let go of comparisons that steal my joy. I confess that sometimes I trust my own understanding more than yours, and I ask you to realign my heart with humility and dependence on you. Cleanse me and renew me so that I can walk forward unburdened and free. Lord Jesus, thank you for the cross that makes this prayer possible. Thank you that I do not come before you based on my own righteousness, but covered by your grace. Because of you, I can approach the Father with confidence, knowing I am loved, forgiven, and accepted. This morning I place my identity back where it belongs, not in my performance, not in my productivity, not in others' opinions, but in being a child of God. Let this truth anchor me today when doubts try to speak louder than faith. Holy Spirit, I invite you to lead me from the very first step of this day. Be my guide in decisions big and small. Be my wisdom in conversations. Be my peace when anxiety tries to rise. I do not want to rush ahead of you or lag behind you. Teach me to walk in step with you, attentive to your gentle promptings. Help me recognize when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. Shape my reactions so they reflect your fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Father, I bring before you the responsibilities that await me today. You know the tasks on my schedule, the people I will encounter, and the challenges I may face. I ask you to order my steps so that I am not overwhelmed, distracted, or scattered. Give me clarity of mind and focus of heart. Help me steward my time wisely, not driven by pressure, but led by purpose. If there are interruptions, Let me see them as divine appointments rather than obstacles. Teach me to work diligently, without losing sight of what truly matters. God, I pray for strength that does not come from my own effort, but from your presence within me. When my energy feels limited, remind me that your power is made perfect in weakness. When I feel inadequate, remind me that you equip those you call. When fear whispers that I am not enough, speak louder with your truth. As it is written in Isaiah 40, you give strength to the weary and increase the power of the weak. And I receive that promise this morning with open hands and a believing heart. Lord, guard my heart today. Protect it from discouragement, from harsh words, from subtle lies that try to pull me away from truth. Help me to filter what I hear and see through your word, rather than through emotion or assumption. Let my heart remain tender, not hardened by disappointment. Let my mind remain renewed, not conformed to negativity. I ask that you set a watch over my thoughts so that what I dwell on aligns with what is pure, noble, and praiseworthy. Father, I lift my voice in trust for what I cannot yet see. I believe that you are already working behind the scenes, arranging things for good, even in ways I may never fully understand. I place my hope not in circumstances changing quickly, but in your character remaining constant. Teach me to walk by faith and not by sight today. Help me to take the next right step, even when the full path is not clear. God, let my life today be an offering to you. Let my words carry life. Let my actions reflect compassion. Let my attitude reveal trust. I do not want to live this day on autopilot. I want to live it aware that you are near, that you are involved, that you are inviting me into deeper communion with you. Whether the day feels quiet or demanding, joyful or challenging, let it all be lived in fellowship with you. Father, as this prayer continues to unfold, I remain here in your presence, attentive and expectant, knowing that you are not finished speaking, and neither is my heart finished listening. Father, I remain here with you as this morning continues to open like a quiet promise, and I let my soul lean further into your presence. I am not in a hurry to leave this place of communion, because I know that everything I carry into the day will be shaped by what I receive from you now. I listen not with anxious ears, but with a trusting heart, believing that you speak, even when the words are gentle, even when they arrive slowly, even when they come as peace rather than instruction. Teach me to recognize the way you communicate, so I do not miss you by expecting thunder when you choose a whisper. Lord, I acknowledge that every morning is a mercy. I did not earn this day, and I do not control it, yet you have placed it in my hands as a gift. Help me hold it with reverence. Let me not waste it on resentment, regret, or fear. Let me not rush through it disconnected from you. Instead, anchor me in awareness that you walk with me into every moment. As it is written in Lamentations, your mercies are new every morning, and great is your faithfulness. And I cling to that truth now, letting it settle deep into my spirit as a foundation for everything ahead. Father, I bring before you my inner world, the thoughts that form quickly, the emotions that shift without warning, the memories that sometimes surface unexpectedly. You know how easily my mind can wander toward worry or self-criticism. You know how quickly I can replay conversations or anticipate outcomes that may never happen. I ask you to gently redirect my mind today. When my thoughts drift toward fear, pull them back toward trust. When my thoughts become heavy, lift them with hope. When my thoughts become scattered, center them on what is true. Let my inner dialogue be shaped by your voice rather than my insecurities. God, I surrender my need to control outcomes. I confess that I often feel safer when I believe I have everything planned, everything predicted, everything managed. Yet I know that real peace does not come from control, it comes from trust. This morning, I loosen my grip on expectations. I release my timeline, my preferred results, my assumptions about how things should unfold. I place them into your hands, trusting that you see more clearly than I do and love more deeply than I ever could. Teach me to rest in that trust, even when circumstances feel uncertain. Lord, I ask you to prepare my heart for the people I will encounter today. Some will be easy to love. Others may challenge my patience, my humility, or my understanding. Help me see each person through your eyes. Remind me that everyone I meet is carrying something unseen, some burden, some hope, some silent prayer. Let me be quick to listen and slow to speak. Let my responses be marked by grace rather than reaction. Give me the wisdom to know when to encourage, when to comfort, and when to remain silent. Shape my interactions so that they reflect your love rather than my mood. Father, I pray for courage today. Not the loud kind that demands attention, but the quiet kind that chooses obedience even when it is uncomfortable. Give me courage to do what is right even when it is unnoticed. Courage to speak truth gently when it matters. Courage to set boundaries when necessary. Courage to trust you when the path feels unfamiliar. Let my courage be rooted not in confidence in myself, but in confidence in you. Remind me that you do not call me to walk alone, but to walk with you. God, I ask you to guard my mouth today. Let my words be thoughtful and intentional. Keep me from speaking out of frustration, pride, or impatience. When I am tempted to complain, remind me to be grateful. When I am tempted to criticize, remind me to be compassionate. When I am tempted to defend myself, remind me to trust you as my defender. Let my speech bring peace rather than tension, clarity rather than confusion, encouragement rather than discouragement. Teach me that words carry weight and help me use them wisely. Lord, I pray for emotional strength this morning. You know the areas where I feel sensitive, the wounds that have not fully healed, the places where disappointment still lingers. I ask you to meet me there with gentleness. Strengthen me not by hardening my heart, but by stabilizing it. Help me respond to triggers with wisdom rather than impulse. Help me stay grounded when emotions rise. Let your peace act as an anchor within me, steady and reliable no matter what waves may come. Father, I place my plans before you and ask you to bless what aligns with your will and gently interrupt what does not. If there are steps I am about to take that lead me away from you, redirect me. If there are opportunities you want me to notice, open my eyes. I want my day to be shaped by divine purpose rather than mere habit. Teach me to ask you into even the smallest details, trusting that nothing is too insignificant for your care. God, I pray for protection as I move through this day. Not only physical protection, but spiritual and emotional as well. Shield me from distractions that pull me away from you. Protect my heart from discouragement and my mind from confusion. As it is written in Proverbs, you are a shield to those who take refuge in you. And I choose to take refuge in you this morning, trusting that you surround me with your presence and your peace. Lord, help me remain teachable today. Let me not assume I already know what you want to show me. Keep my heart open to correction, to growth, to new understanding. When I make mistakes, help me learn rather than retreat in shame. When I receive feedback, help me receive it with humility rather than defensiveness. Shape me continuously, patiently, lovingly, into the person you are calling me to become. Father, I ask you to awaken joy within me, not a joy dependent on circumstances, but a joy rooted in knowing you. Let me notice moments of beauty today, even in ordinary places. A kind word, a quiet pause, a small victory, a reminder of your faithfulness. Train my eyes to see your fingerprints throughout the day so that joy becomes a natural response to your presence rather than a reaction to events. God, I surrender my fears about the future. Some fears are loud and obvious. Others are subtle and hidden beneath productivity or distraction. You see them all. I place them before you now. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. Replace these fears with trust. Remind me that you go before me, that you prepare the way, that you remain with me no matter what unfolds. Let your perfect love cast out fear as I move forward into this day. Lord, I ask you to keep my heart aligned with your truth. When the world presents shifting standards and confusing messages, ground me in what is eternal. Let your word be the lens through which I interpret my experiences. Let it guide my decisions, shape my values, and anchor my hope. I do not want to be tossed back and forth by every opinion or emotion. I want to stand firm in what you have spoken. Father, I dedicate this morning fully to you. Before the demands increase, before the pace quickens, before distractions multiply, I place my focus on you. I choose dependence over self-reliance. I choose faith over fear. I choose gratitude over complaint. I trust that as I seek you first, everything else will find its proper place. I remain here in prayer, open and attentive, ready to continue walking forward with you into whatever this day holds, knowing that you are faithful to lead me step by step. Father, I continue to linger in your presence as this prayer deepens, allowing my heart to settle more fully into the truth that you are here and you are attentive. I am not speaking into emptiness, and I am not praying out of habit. I am communing with the living God who knows me completely and loves me faithfully. Let that awareness shape the way I breathe, the way I think, and the way I prepare to step into the hours ahead. I do not want to rush past this sacred space. I want to be formed in it. Lord, I acknowledge that mornings often carry quiet battles. Even before the day fully begins, doubts can surface, pressure can build, and expectations can weigh heavily. You see the unseen struggle that happens within me before anyone else notices. I bring those inner tensions to you now. Where I feel pulled in many directions, bring unity. Where I feel restless, bring calm. Where I feel uncertain, bring assurance. Let your peace settle over me not as a fleeting emotion, but as a steady presence that guards my heart and mind. Father, I ask you to recalibrate my priorities this morning. So often, urgent things try to crowd out important ones. Tasks shout louder than truth, and deadlines demand more attention than devotion. Help me remember that being with you is not something I fit into my life, but the foundation from which everything else flows. Teach me to value presence over productivity, obedience over approval, faithfulness over success. Let my choices today reflect eternal priorities rather than temporary pressures. God, I lift before you the areas of my life where I feel stretched thin. You know where my strength feels limited and my patience feels tested. You know the responsibilities that require more from me than I feel I have to give. I ask you to meet me in those places with supernatural provision. Multiply my energy where it is needed. Renew my patience where it is worn. Restore my joy where it has been depleted. Remind me that I am not expected to carry everything alone. Lord, I bring you my identity again, because I know how easily it can be shaped by external voices. Some voices praise, others criticize, and some simply demand. But above all of them, I want your voice to be the loudest. Speak truth over who I am. Remind me that I am chosen, not because of my perfection, but because of your love. Remind me that I am called, not because of my strength, but because of your purpose. As it is written in Ephesians, I am your workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works that you prepared in advance. And I step into that calling today with humility and trust. Father, I ask you to sanctify my thoughts this morning. Let my mind be a place where truth is welcomed and lies are challenged. When negative patterns try to resurface, interrupt them with your word. When self-doubt tries to take root, replace it with faith. When fear tries to exaggerate what might go wrong, remind me of how many times you have already carried me through what I thought I could not survive. Teach me to take every thought captive and align it with what you say is true. God, I pray for discernment today. There will be choices to make, some small and some significant. I ask you to sharpen my spiritual sensitivity so that I can recognize what aligns with your will. Help me distinguish between good opportunities and God-ordained ones. Give me clarity when things feel confusing and peace when I am tempted to overanalyze. Let your wisdom guide me, not impulse, not fear, and not pressure. Lord, I ask you to prepare me for moments of waiting today. Waiting for answers, waiting for results, waiting for change. I confess that waiting is often uncomfortable for me. I want quick resolutions and clear outcomes, but I know that waiting is not wasted when it is done with you. Teach me to wait with trust rather than frustration. Remind me that you are always at work, even when I cannot see immediate progress. As it is written in Psalm 27, I am encouraged to wait for the Lord and be strong, and I choose to anchor my hope in that promise this morning. Father, I place my emotional responses before you. Help me not be ruled by them, but guided by your Spirit. When I feel joy, help me express it with gratitude. When I feel sadness, meet me with comfort. When I feel anger, slow me down and teach me to respond wisely. When I feel overwhelmed, remind me to come back to you rather than pushing through alone. Let my emotions become indicators that lead me to you rather than drivers that lead me away from you. God, I ask you to cultivate humility within me today. Keep me from pride when things go well and from despair when things are difficult. Help me remember that every good thing comes from you and that every challenge is an opportunity to depend on you more deeply. Teach me to celebrate others without comparison and to serve without seeking recognition. Let humility become the posture of my heart, allowing your grace to flow freely through my life. Lord, I pray for consistency in my walk with you, not a faith that fluctuates with circumstances, but a steady devotion rooted in trust. Help me remain faithful in small things, in quiet moments, in unseen choices. Strengthen my commitment to seek you daily, not only when I need answers, but because I desire relationship. Let my faith be built through ongoing obedience rather than occasional inspiration. Father, I bring before you the burdens I carry for others, the concerns for loved ones, the prayers I hold quietly, the needs I cannot fix. You see every name, every situation, every silent cry. I place them into your capable hands. Teach me to intercede with faith rather than anxiety. Help me trust that you are working in their lives, even when I feel helpless. Let compassion move me to pray, but let trust keep me from carrying what belongs to you. God, I ask you to help me recognize your presence throughout this day, not only in moments of prayer, but in movement, in work, in conversation. Let me sense you near when I feel alone. Let me hear you guiding when I feel uncertain. Let me remember you when distractions try to pull my attention away. Train my heart to return to you again and again, knowing that you never grow weary of my turning. Lord, I pray for resilience today. There may be setbacks, misunderstandings, or disappointments. When they come, help me not to collapse inward or react harshly. Strengthen me to stand firm, to respond with grace, and to keep moving forward with faith. Remind me that one moment does not define the whole day, and one challenge does not define my future. You're still writing the story. Father, I surrender my desire for immediate answers. I accept that some things will remain unresolved for now. I trust that you reveal what I need when I need it. Help me live comfortably with mystery, anchored in the certainty of your character. Even when I do not understand your ways, help me trust your heart. God, I place this morning fully into your hands once more. I do not know everything that awaits me, but I know who walks with me. That is enough. I move forward from this place of prayer not empty, but filled, not anxious, but anchored, not rushed, but guided. I remain attentive, expectant, and open, ready to continue this journey with you as the day unfolds, trusting that your presence will carry me through every step. Father, I stay here with you a little longer, allowing your presence to settle even deeper into me, like light slowly filling a room that was already warm, but now becomes bright. I sense that this prayer is not something I am finishing, but something you are still shaping within me. I open myself again, without resistance, without hurry, trusting that what you plant in these moments will bear fruit throughout the day in ways I may not immediately recognize. I am learning that being with you is not about reaching an ending, but about remaining connected. Lord, I ask you to align my expectations for this day with your will. So often I wake up already measuring the day by outcomes, what I hope will happen, what I fear might happen, what I think should happen. I place those measurements aside. Teach me to measure this day by faithfulness instead. Let success be defined by obedience, not by results. Let fulfillment come from walking with you, not from checking every box. Free me from the pressure to make this day impressive, and help me make it faithful. Father, I bring you my weaknesses without apology. I do not hide them, and I do not minimize them. You already know where I struggle, where I hesitate, where I fall short. I thank you that you are not repelled by my weakness, but that you meet me in it. As it is written in 2 Corinthians, your grace is sufficient, and your power is made perfect in weakness. And I choose to believe that this morning, not as a concept, but as a lived reality. Let your strength be visible where my limitations are most obvious. God, I ask you to teach me how to rest in you, even as I move through responsibilities. Let rest not be something I postpone, but something I carry within me because I am rooted in you. When my body is active, let my spirit remain at peace. When my mind is engaged, let my heart remain anchored. Help me understand that rest is not inactivity, but trust. Trust that you are working even when I am not striving. Lord, I pray for clarity of heart today. Sometimes confusion does not come from lack of information, but from divided desires. Show me where my heart is pulled in conflicting directions. Gently draw it back into alignment with you. Simplify my desires so that I want what you want. Remove the inner noise that makes it hard to hear you clearly. Let my heart become a quiet place where your truth can settle and guide me. Father, I ask you to refine my reactions today. Often it is not the situation itself, but my response to it that determines whether peace remains or is lost. Slow me down when I feel triggered. Create space between what happens and how I respond. Fill that space with your wisdom. Teach me to pause, to breathe, to remember you before I speak or act. Let self-control be a fruit that grows naturally from abiding in you. God, I bring before you my hopes, some spoken, some unspoken. Hopes for growth, for healing, for provision, for restoration. I hold them before you with open hands, not clenched fists. I trust you with the timing, the process, and the outcome. Where hope has been wounded by delay or disappointment, tend to it gently. Restore my ability to hope again without fear. Remind me that waiting does not mean you have forgotten, and silence does not mean you are absent. Lord, I ask you to strengthen my trust today in practical ways. When plans change unexpectedly, help me trust. When answers are delayed, help me trust. When I do not feel your presence as strongly as I would like, Help me trust anyway. Let my faith not be dependent on how I feel, but on who you are. As it is written in Proverbs 3, I am called to trust in you with all my heart and not lean on my own understanding. And I choose to walk in that trust step by step this morning. Father, I pray for a heart that remains soft. Life has a way of hardening us through disappointment, criticism, and fatigue. Protect my heart from becoming closed off or guarded. Teach me how to stay open without becoming wounded, how to love without becoming bitter, how to care without becoming drained. Let your love flow through me as a constant source, so that I am not giving from emptiness, but from overflow. God, I ask you to cultivate perseverance within me today. Some things will require sustained effort, patience, and faith. When I am tempted to give up too quickly, remind me why I started. When progress feels slow, remind me that growth is often unseen before it is evident. Strengthen me to keep showing up, to keep praying, to keep trusting, even when results are not immediate. Let perseverance shape my character quietly and steadily. Lord, I lift my attention toward you again and again. When distractions pull me away, gently draw me back. When I become overly focused on tasks, remind me of your presence. When I feel disconnected, prompt me to reconnect. Let my awareness of you become more natural, more constant, woven into the rhythm of my day. Teach me that prayer does not end when words stop, but continues as a posture of the heart. Father, I ask you to help me steward my energy wisely today. Show me when to push forward and when to slow down. Protect me from burnout that comes from trying to do everything in my own strength. Teach me to recognize my limits without guilt and to honor them as part of your design. Let me depend on you not only when I am exhausted, but even when I feel capable. God, I pray for inner freedom, freedom from old patterns that no longer serve your purpose, freedom from guilt that you have already forgiven, freedom from fear that restricts obedience, freedom from striving for approval. Let me walk today as someone who has been set free, not careless, but confident in your grace. Help me live lightly, unburdened by what you never asked me to carry. Lord, I place my focus back on you as the center of this morning. You are not an addition to my day. You are the foundation of it. Everything else finds its meaning in relation to you. I choose to begin from this place of connection, trusting that it will shape how I think, how I act, and how I respond to whatever comes next. Father, I remain here, not because I have nothing else to do, but because being with you is the most important thing I can do. I carry this prayer forward with me, not as words I leave behind, but as a living conversation that continues. I step into this day aware, strengthened, and grounded, trusting that you will continue to guide me, moment by moment, as I walk with you into all that awaits. Father, I move forward in this prayer, still aware that I have not left your presence, because you do not stay behind when I rise from stillness. You walk with me into motion. I sense you beside me as this morning continues to unfold, and I choose to remain attentive, even as my thoughts begin to turn toward what lies ahead. Let this attentiveness become a habit of the heart, so that I do not treat your nearness as something reserved only for quiet moments, but as a constant reality woven into every breath I take today. Lord, I ask you to sanctify the very beginning of my actions today. Before I speak to anyone, before I respond to messages, before I make decisions, let my first movements be shaped by your peace. Help me resist the urge to rush into activity without grounding myself in you. Teach me that slowness with you often produces greater clarity than speed without you. Let my pace today be guided by wisdom rather than urgency. Father, I bring before you the spaces where I often feel pressure to prove myself. You know how easily I can slip into striving, trying to earn worth through productivity or recognition. This morning, I lay that burden down. Remind me again that my value is settled, that I am already seen, already known, already loved. Let me work from acceptance, not for it. Let that truth free me from comparison and from the fear of falling short. God, I ask you to purify my motivations today. Even in good actions, mixed motives can quietly take root. Search my heart and realign my intentions. Let what I do be done out of love rather than obligation, out of obedience rather than ego, out of faith rather than fear. When my motives drift, gently correct me without condemnation. Teach me to regularly return to you for recalibration. Lord, I pray for attentiveness to your subtle guidance. Not every instruction comes as a clear command. Sometimes it comes as a nudge, a hesitation, a sense of peace or unease. Help me learn to trust those quiet signals. Sharpen my spiritual sensitivity so I can recognize when you are inviting me to pause, to redirect, or to step forward. Let me not dismiss your guidance just because it is gentle. Father, I bring you my physical body this morning. Thank you for the strength I have, and help me care for it wisely. When I feel tired, remind me to listen rather than push relentlessly. When I feel strong, help me remain humble and grateful. Let my body be an instrument through which I honor you, not something I neglect or overburden. Teach me balance, so that I can serve faithfully without ignoring the limits you designed. God, I ask you to help me see this morning as holy ground, not because of what I will accomplish, but because you are present within it. Let me recognize that even ordinary tasks can become acts of worship when done with awareness of you. Washing, walking, working, speaking. Let it all be done in quiet communion with you. Transform routine into reverence. Lord, I pray for resilience in moments when things do not go as planned. When interruptions arise, help me respond with flexibility rather than frustration. When mistakes happen, help me learn rather than spiral into self-criticism. When expectations are unmet, help me adjust without losing peace. Remind me that you remain sovereign even when the day feels unpredictable. Father, I ask you to deepen my trust in your timing today. I confess that I often want answers sooner, progress faster, clarity immediately. Teach me again that timing is not delay when it is guided by you. As it is written in Ecclesiastes, you make everything beautiful in its time. And I choose to trust that beauty is still forming even when I cannot yet see it. Help me stay patient and hopeful as I walk forward. God, I pray for a heart that remains responsive. When you correct me, let me receive it with humility. When you encourage me, let me receive it with gratitude. When you challenge me, let me respond with courage. Keep my heart from becoming defensive or dull. Let it remain alive and willing, shaped continually by your hand. Lord, I bring before you the words I will hear today. Some will uplift, others may discourage. Help me discern which words to hold and which to release. Let truth settle deeply, and let harmful words pass without taking root. Guard my heart from internalizing what you have not spoken over me. Teach me to measure every voice against the truth of your word. Father, I ask you to strengthen my sense of calling today. Not necessarily in grand gestures, but in faithful presence. Remind me that calling is often lived out in consistency, integrity, and love in small things. Let me be faithful where you have placed me now, trusting that you will expand my influence in your time and way. God, I pray for peace that endures beyond this moment of prayer. Let it follow me as I stand, as I move, as I engage. When tension tries to creep in, bring me back to this place of surrender. Let peace become my default posture, because my trust is anchored in you. As it is written in John 14, you give a peace that is not like the world gives, and I receive that peace now. allowing it to guard my heart. Lord, I place my confidence in you for the remainder of this morning. I do not know every detail of how it will unfold, but I know that you are already there. I trust you to meet me in conversations, in decisions, in quiet pauses. Let me move forward without anxiety, knowing that I am accompanied by your presence. Father, I choose to carry this prayer within me, not as something finished, but as something alive. Let it continue shaping my awareness, my choices, and my responses. I step into the rest of this morning grounded, attentive, and trusting, confident that you will continue to guide me gently and faithfully as I walk with you. Father, as this prayer continues to flow, I remain aware that you are not distant or abstract, but near and attentive, closer than my own breath. I let that truth settle again, deeper than thought, deeper than emotion. I do not want to rush past the awareness of your nearness. Teach me how to live from this place, where communion with you is not interrupted by movement, but carried within it. Let my inner posture remain turned toward you, even as my outward world begins to stir. Lord, I bring before you the quiet fears that sometimes surface in the morning. Fears that are not always dramatic, but persistent. The fear of not measuring up, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of things going wrong despite my best efforts. I do not deny these fears, but I refuse to let them rule me. I place them in your hands, trusting that you are strong enough to hold them without being overwhelmed. As it is written in Psalm 91, "Those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High rest in the shadow of the Almighty." And this morning I choose to dwell, to rest, to remain under your covering. Father, I ask you to help me live today from a place of security rather than striving. When I feel tempted to prove myself, remind me that I am already held. When I feel pressure to perform, remind me that I am already loved. Let security in you quiet the inner urgency that often drives me to overextend myself. Teach me to act from confidence in your care rather than fear of lack. God, I bring you my need for provision today. You know what I require, not only materially, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You know what lies ahead, what will be asked of me, and what resources I will need to respond with faithfulness. I trust you to provide in ways that are timely and sufficient. As Jesus taught in Matthew 6, I am reminded not to be anxious about tomorrow, because you already know what I need, and I choose to seek first your kingdom and your righteousness, trusting that everything else will be given as needed. Lord, I ask you to help me remain present today. So often my mind drifts ahead, rehearsing conversations or worrying about outcomes that have not yet arrived. Bring me back to this moment, again and again. Teach me that grace is found in the present, not in imagined futures or replayed pasts. Let me engage fully with what is in front of me, trusting that you are present here, not only waiting for me at the next milestone. Father, I pray for faithfulness in the unseen moments, the moments when no one is watching, when obedience feels quiet and ordinary. Help me remember that you see what others do not. Let integrity guide me when shortcuts seem tempting. Let faithfulness shape my character when recognition is absent. Teach me to value what you value, even when it goes unnoticed by others. God, I ask you to guard me against subtle discouragement. Not the kind that arrives loudly, but the kind that whispers slowly, telling me that my efforts do not matter or that change is too slow. When discouragement tries to settle in, remind me of the seeds you are growing beneath the surface. Help me trust that growth is happening even when evidence is not immediately visible. Strengthen me to keep moving forward with quiet perseverance. Lord, I bring before you my desire for control once more, because it has a way of returning. I ask you to help me recognize when I am holding too tightly to outcomes. Gently loosen my grip and redirect my trust back to you. Teach me the freedom of surrender, not as resignation, but as confidence that you are capable and good. Let surrender become a daily practice rather than a last resort. Father, I ask you to help me listen well today, not only to you, but to others. Give me the patience to truly hear rather than simply waiting to respond. Let my listening be an expression of love and respect. Help me notice what is said and what is left unsaid. Teach me to listen with discernment, compassion, and humility. God, I pray for alignment between my inner life and my outer actions. Let there be integrity between what I believe and how I live. When there is inconsistency, gently bring it to my attention without condemnation. Teach me to walk honestly before you, allowing you to shape both my thoughts and my behavior so that they reflect your truth. Lord, I ask you to renew my sense of wonder today. It is easy to become accustomed to blessings and to overlook beauty. Open my eyes to notice small evidences of your goodness, a moment of peace, a timely word, a quiet reassurance. Let gratitude rise naturally as I recognize these gifts. Teach me to see the sacred woven into the ordinary. Father, I place my trust in you for what remains uncertain. There are questions I do not yet have answers to, paths that are not fully clear. I resist the urge to demand clarity before obedience. Help me take the next step in faith, trusting that you reveal what I need as I move forward. Let trust grow stronger than the need for certainty. God, I ask you to help me remain gentle with myself today. When I fall short, remind me of your grace. When I feel slow, remind me that growth takes time. When I feel inadequate, remind me that you are sufficient. Let me learn from mistakes without being defined by them. Teach me how to walk in humility and hope at the same time. Lord, I commit my thoughts, my words, and my actions to you once again as this prayer continues. I do not want to compartmentalize my faith, but to live integrated, aware that you are involved in every part of my life. Let this morning prayer continue to echo within me, shaping how I respond to whatever unfolds. Father, I remain attentive, grounded, and open. I move forward into the rest of this morning not alone, not rushed, and not afraid. I walk with you, under your covering, guided by your wisdom, trusting that you will continue to lead me faithfully, step by step, into all that this day holds. Father, as this prayer reaches its final movement, I do not feel an ending so much as a gentle settling, like a heart finding its home. I remain before you aware that you have been speaking not only through words, but through stillness, through reassurance, through the quiet strengthening of my inner being. I receive all that you have been placing within me throughout this morning, trusting that it will continue to unfold long after these words fade into silence. I stand here grounded, not because everything is resolved, but because I am held by you. Lord, I look back over this time with gratitude, recognizing that you have met me exactly where I am. You have not demanded perfection, speed, or certainty. You have simply invited presence. Thank you for being a God who welcomes me as I am and patiently shapes me into who you are calling me to become. Let this awareness remain with me as a steady confidence, reminding me that I never walk into any moment alone. Father, I now consciously place this entire morning into your hands. Everything that lies ahead, every interaction, every task, every unexpected turn. I release the need to anticipate or rehearse what has not yet happened. I trust you with the unfolding of each moment. Teach me to remain responsive rather than reactive, prayerful rather than pressured, attentive rather than anxious. Let this day be lived not in fragments, but as a continuous offering to you. God, I ask you to seal the peace you have given me. Let it not be easily shaken by noise, demands, or distractions. When challenges arise, remind me of this place of prayer where my heart was anchored. When tension tries to pull me away, draw me back inwardly to the truth that you are near. Let peace become a testimony not of ease, but of trust in you. Lord, I pray that my life today would quietly reflect your goodness, not through dramatic gestures, but through faithfulness, kindness, patience, and humility. Let others encounter something of your love through my presence, even if no words are spoken. Use my life as you see fit, trusting that you know how to reach hearts far better than I do. Father, I place my future once more before you, not only today, but the days that follow. The plans I see forming, the dreams that feel distant, the questions that remain unanswered. I trust you to guide me faithfully, step by step. As it is written in Psalm 37, when I commit my way to you and trust in you, you act. And I choose to live with that promise shaping my hope, rather than uncertainty shaping my fear. God, I thank you for the assurance that you do not abandon what you begin. When I feel unfinished or uncertain, remind me that you are still at work. Let perseverance rise within me when progress feels slow. Let faith remain steady when results are not immediate. I trust that you are faithful to complete what you have started in me. Lord, I ask you to bless the remainder of this morning with clarity and grace. Let my steps be ordered, my thoughts be aligned, and my heart be settled. Guard me from unnecessary distractions. Help me remain focused on what truly matters. Let each moment be lived with intention, not striving but surrender. Father, I receive your strength for whatever this day requires, not a strength rooted in self-effort, but one that flows from reliance on you. As it is written in Philippians 4, I am reminded that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I carry that truth with quiet confidence into everything ahead. God, I entrust my heart to you once more. Keep it soft, teachable, and anchored in truth. Protect it from discouragement and from pride. Let it remain sensitive to your voice and responsive to your leading. Shape my desires so that they align more closely with yours, and let obedience become a natural expression of love. Lord, as I step fully into this day, I do so aware that prayer has not ended, but changed form. It continues in trust, in obedience, in attentiveness. I carry this communion with me, not as words I must remember, but as a posture of dependence and faith. I walk forward with peace, knowing that you go before me, walk beside me, and remain within me. Father, I conclude this morning prayer not with finality, but with confidence. Confidence that you have heard, that you are present, and that you will continue to guide me faithfully. I move forward, grounded in gratitude, strengthened by your presence, and anchored in your promises, trusting you completely as I step into all that this day holds. Lord, I ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.